This interview was recorded as part of a session titled Perspectives on Societies and Inclusivity, a Community Dialogue. This video was shown in that session at the Federation of Genealogical Societies Conference, held August 21st through 23rd, 2019 in Washington, D.C. The session in community dialogue was facilitated by Linda Harms Okazaki, Joshua Taylor, and me, Colleen Robledo Greene.
Well, you can just imagine that old Myrt here is opinionated. I've been in a wheelchair the last 2.5 years, and have I learned a lot. One thing that happens when you go to a typical genealogy society meeting or conference is they do reserve space for wheelchair and scooter people, and it's at the back. And some of us are also hard of hearing. That isn't my problem, but I've heard that is a problem for other people. So they need to be at the front to hear better if the room doesn't have one of those hearing loops that attunes automatically to a hearing aid. There's another thing, even before you get to the meeting place, the conference center, the library where your society meets, they have those handicapped parking spaces. And I have waited to pull my van into a handicapped parking space that has enough of the designated hash mark side so that I can deploy the ramp and take my wheelchair down that ramp and get out without crashing into a car. One time I went to the library and there was a mom in her minivan parked in that hash mark part of the handicap parking that we have here in the United States. And she was waiting to pick up her kids. And I couldn't park at all. That's not a place to park. She did not have a handicap tag. I got a little frustrated about that. There's also another thing to think about with people who are in wheelchairs. We usually are dealing with chronic pain. And you would be surprised how worn out old Myrt gets when you pat her on the shoulders. Now, I love hugs, don't get me wrong. But, by about the third day of a week-long institute, I'm pretty dead in the shoulders. So it would be nice if you asked, hey, can I have a hug? Or I'm pretty assertive. I'll say, hey, how about that hug? Let's get a selfie. Another thing that many genealogy societies have started doing is having webinars, a webinar component just for their members who maybe can't get out at night because of their vision or because it's an icy road and I might have trouble with my wheelchair in the library if it had just snowed. That's a super cool thing, and there's inexpensive, in fact, free technology so that those societies can produce that type of a webinar. It's pretty cool, but there's nothing that can replace the networking and the in-person event learning that can happen when you can be in a room learning from somebody, and then as you walk out, in my case I drive out, you're talking with other attendees how that particular presentation will affect your future research. And you know what? It isn't all on you to do things better. It's on me as well. So I hereby promise not to run over anybody's toes at the next genealogy conference.